All right, it's Friday, September 13th, Moon Lake. We're at the Lake Fork Trailhead, 6:30 in the morning, and it's a frosty one at that. So, getting ready to head up into Brown Duck Basin for round 2. Alright, I'm trying something new today. Homemade concoction of powdered milk and granola. So we'll see how that turns out. And mix with a cup of water. It's pretty good for a cold breakfast where you don't need to heat up water. Worked out pretty good. Alright, it's about 7 o'clock. Got breakfast in me and we're getting ready to head up to Brown Duck Lake Basin. I think it's the Lake Fork Trailhead. Plan is to go from this morning, head up into Brown Duck Basin, past Clements Lake, taking the trail to the north, and up into that next basin. I think they call it East Basin. Anyway, there's a couple lakes up in there I want to go check out. I think Pitcher Lake is one of them, and maybe 3 lakes, I think, is the others. Anyway, we're going to go check those out. It looks like that last little bit of rain and snow we had up here over the last couple of days washed out this little trail a little bit. And looks like they got a whole bunch of cows up in here. There's a bunch down by the lake too. Down at the Moon Lake. Anyway, hopefully I won't see any up where we're camping. Well, this second time up on this trail is different in the sense that it's not the heat of the day, and the sandy trail has been watered down, and it makes it much easier to hike on. So it's still a steep climb up this first little bit, but I don't know. It definitely is much easier than last time. Freaking cold. Let's see if I can get a zoom in on that. What the heck? Yeah. Cold. Holy crap. Okay, I'm in about a mile. And it happens to be, I think, a steep mile because, you know, this trail is maybe 8 miles to Brown Duck Lake, but with an elevation gain of about, I don't know, 2,100 feet from the trailhead. And I've done nearly 600 foot elevation gain in just the first mile, so it's pretty steep. Anyway, it looks like the trail's mellowing out now for a bit. Right here behind me. This is the part where we meander through the trees. Lodgepole pines. Should be a pretty sight with all the sun rays coming through. With the sunrise, it should be pretty cool. These lodgepole pine are so cool. And yeah, I think you can see right down through the trees there a little bit. That's Moon Lake. Down by the trailhead. There's the sun peeking through. Okay, so about the first mile of this trail, you're about 600-700 foot elevation gain. Pretty steep. But then the next mile, you're about -1 to 200 foot elevation gain. So I guess we're gonna go back up again for the next 3rd mile. I'll report back in a bit. Yeah, last June when we took this trail, right there was this most gorgeous patch of yellow dandelion flowers. But this time, they be all gone. I think fall is in the air. Definitely. Because it was chilly this morning. In the last 2 days it snowed up here. And when I left Utah County yesterday, there was still snow on Mount Timpanogos down to about 10,000 feet. So hopefully with these next couple of warm days, that'll melt off, because otherwise I'll be camping in the snow up here tonight, because I think this Brown Duck Basin's around 10,600 or so in elevation. So and a neighbor, he decided he was going to go up with his brother and nephews, and they were going to go up into Amethyst Basin. He had a similar concern about the snow. Yeah, based on the UDOT traffic camera at Bald Mountain Pass, it looked like it melted off mostly. Alright, mile post 3. Well, there's not a post, but GPS says I'm 3 miles in. Anyway, I gained all of my lost elevation in that last mile, plus a couple hundred more, for a total of about 850 foot elevation gain in the 3 miles since the beginning. So it's been pretty steady uphill. Trail's pretty nice through here though. It's not too rocky. I think Scott might like this trail. Well, all right. After hiking that last little bit up that steep non-stop hill, I actually have to say I'm sorry. Who? I'm sorry to Kristy for bringing her up on that hike for her first hike since having hip surgery. Wow, that was a steep grueling hike. Plus, when we did it, it was in the heat of the day. We didn't start our hike till close to 11. The sun was coming out, it was beating down on us. It was a hot, miserable hike. And steep. But all in all, Kristy did an amazing job of doing that hike. That was her first hike after hip surgery, I must say. But I am sorry. I should have researched the trail a little better before bringing her on it, because I'd never been on this hike before. I had no idea what to expect. Should have counted the contour lines a little closer, looked at the mileage. Anyway, great job, Kristy. You did an amazing job doing that hike as your first hike, because it weren't easy today either. Alright, this is where the trail busts out into the first views. So pretty. The shimmering water under the sun. Oh, that is awesome. So the trailhead is down. I don't know if you can see it, but the trailhead is kind of right in that little V right there of the meadow and the trees. And it goes up onto this hill, steep, 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 flattens off, contours over to this river drainage, and then up this river drainage. Just up, 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 and more up. But this is what you get to see when you get up here. It's pretty nice. Well, all right, we're 4 miles in. Gained some more elevation. We've gone 1,200 foot elevation in 4 miles. And most of that is on mile 1 and miles 2.5 to 3.5. Right now, we're going downhill again. So, we're gonna have to go back up again. All right. Boy, I must say that this is ideal hiking conditions right now. The trail is a little moist, soft on your footsteps. The temperature is amazingly great at 60 degrees, which is far better than the 38 degrees I started with this morning. That was a bit chilly, but hiking in the shade, 60 degrees with a damp trail, man. Looks like the forest floor is starting to get covered with these grouse berries again, and it's usually that way up here, but right there is a grouse berry. They're really good. There's a few more here and there. Oh, so there's a whole bunch more of those grouse berries. Bunches and bunches of them. They're all over in there. Yeah, you could spend hours and hours picking them and only get a couple of handfuls. They're pretty small. Oh, well, looky there. So these little red berries, get close up. Yeah, those berries are not the same as those berries. These ones are the grouse berries for sure. Edible, sweet, and delicious. These, I'm gonna have to look these up, but I wouldn't touch them not knowing what they are. Anyway, never eat something in the woods that you don't know what it is. Rule number 1, especially mushrooms. Speaking of edible things, looks like there's some rose hips right there. Yeah, those are edible. Seeds are a little hard that are inside. You spit those out, but the fleshy substance around it is pretty good eating. These ones aren't quite ripe yet, but they are edible and they are good. All right, mile 5. Had some ups and downs, but in the end, ended up losing about 100 foot in elevation. So anyway, all right, so looking at my Garmin map right here, it shows that there's a trail junction off that main trail to Brown Duck, and it shows that this trail goes to Atwine Lake, and it looks like a shortcut route, but it doesn't look like it's very well traveled. It looks like somebody built some bridges here to get across. Looks like the trail kind of crosses right there. It just doesn't look like a well-traveled trail. And it only really shaves off maybe a half mile of distance. So I don't think it's worth the risk to take that. You just stay on the main trail. Well, that kind of startled me a little bit. Come around the corner and see some big old freaking cow. It's like, what is that? Anyway, shoo. Get on out of the trail, boys. I'm gonna have to chop you up from some steaks. Oh, that one's a bull. Oh, wow. Never mind, I won't chase you away. I'll let you walk away on your own. All right, about 6 miles in. Gained quite a bit of elevation that last little bit. So from the beginning, about 1,600 foot elevation gain so far. Starting to work up a hunger though, so I think I'm gonna have a trail snack and proceed to following these cows up the trail. They don't want to go off the trail, they just go up the trail in front of me. So I don't know, call me a cattle herder, I guess, for now. All right, so the trail snack for today, Nature's Valley sweet and salty nut peanut granola bar. These are pretty good. Give you some protein and some salt, and they're good too, so not bad nourishment when you're hiking. Something easy to eat. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but alpha bulls duking it out head to head and pushing each other around, like see cows doing it too. They're pushing each other back and forth. Yeah, they were moaning and groaning and grunting and making all kinds of noise. If you didn't know they were there, you'd think you had Sasquatch or something. All right, 7 miles in, according to the Garmin, and steady climb all the way. We're at 2,000 foot elevation gain since the beginning, so on average it's a little less than 300 foot per mile, but it's not averaged out. It's steep and then flat and then down and then steep, flat and then down and then steep, steep and steep. And now I'm finally getting close to the basin. I'm coming into another flat area, so next mile will probably be pretty easy. All right, I just saw a guy coming out of the woods here. Kind of startled me a minute until I figured out where he was coming from. But he was coming out on the trail that I need to take. But I didn't realize I was that close to the trail split off already. But anyway, his name was Scott. He was a super nice guy. He's with his lab, and he said he did the Brown Duck Lake Basin loop, which goes over 2 passes and clear around. Looks like a pretty good jaunt. It's about 30 plus miles. But anyway, he was super nice. Said he fished a few lakes up here. Said they were pretty active, but the ones that he did catch seemed pretty small. So anyway, hopefully we can get into some of these lesser known untouched lakes and maybe we can find some better fishing. But anyway, it's kind of cool to see somebody on the trail. He said he's been up here for 3 days and I was the first person he's seen in the whole 3 days. And likewise, he's the first person I've seen in the first 3 hours. So anyway, I don't expect to see anyone really, because there was only 3 cars at the trailhead, and the horse trailer that was there, they left in the night last night. So anyway, on my way to Atwine and Clements Lake first. Maybe stop there for lunch because I'm starting to get pretty hungry and it's lunchtime. So anyway, check in later. All right, about 8 miles in, just shy of that actually, but looks like I've gained most of my elevation finally. The trail is looking pretty flat. I don't expect to have too much more elevation gain. Gained about 2,300 feet since the trailhead, and I think I might have ultimately another 300 more over the next 6 miles. Looks like I gotta go down again for a little bit. So any elevation gained here will be because I went down, like I'm doing now. All right, so mile 8 to 9 was mostly flat, a little ups and downs, but overall ended up only losing about 50-foot elevation. So it's just meandering through this little basin up here. It's pretty flat all over. This section here has got some boulders in it, but thankfully there's a pretty good trail through it, so we don't have to boulder hop. So that makes it nice. I'm almost to Atwine Lake. I'll stop there and filter some water and have lunch. And some more wild edibles. Hard to see, you gotta look for them, but strawberries. There's one right there. Strawberries. Well, all right. 9.5 miles in, roughly. And alas, we have the first major lake on the trail. This one is Atwine Lake. Looks like the trail goes around it, but I'm gonna go down here, sit by it, and get some pictures, and have some lunch, and maybe even toss a line in there and see if there's a fish or two to be had. We'll see. Okay, today for lunch, quick and easy. Tortilla, tuna creations with a little spice. We'll top that off with some sunflower seeds. Pretty good, quick lunch. And to go with the lunch, we got a beverage for the trail. It's Energy Wild Strawberry. Great value brand. Just put it in your water and it's pretty good. And here's another quick snack. Pure layered fruit bar. Comes in 2 flavors from Costco and a big old pack. They're pretty good. Quick energy. It's fruity. Well, looks like Atwine Lake because it got at least one fish in it. Oh, and another. One jumped out there. I'm seeing fish jump around. I think this lake is a dime a dozen lake. And these little brookies. Fun to catch. Well, I fished here about 10 minutes and caught several fish already. This one probably being the biggest of them. It's not bad. Fun to catch. This lake's got a lot of fish in it. Lake Atwine. Pretty. All right. About mile 10. Looks like 0 elevation gain or drop in the last mile. It's been flat. Hopefully it'll be like this the rest of the way. Another 6 more miles to go. Destination Picture Lake that I want to go to. At mile 11 is a frog pond. Are you kidding me? Heck, that's so small it won't even hold a frog. No, I'm totally kidding. 11 miles in, we have, voila, Clements Lake. And it's a big one at that. So all of that is the northern edge of the Brown Duck Basin. decision not to fish Clements Lake today. It's windy. I don't want to be casting into the wind. Plus, I still want to get to that next basin over. Maybe get to those other lakes today before I get too tired. I'm not real tired right now, but I don't know. Time's kind of getting away from me, so see how far I get. All right, mile 12. Looks like I'm still pretty flat elevation-wise. Overall from the trailhead, I'm sitting at 2,400 foot elevation gain in 12 miles. So the average is going down per mile, but that doesn't make those first miles any less steep. All right, 12.5 miles in. It looks like I've crested the summit. Now I'm headed down into that next basin, which is where I want to be. It's taking me 7 hours to get here, to go almost 13 miles, so I'm just shy of a 2 mile an hour pace, which is kind of slow. Slow for me, I guess, but we're getting it. We're doing it. All right. Got a view of it coming down this other side, and wow, is that a drop off right there? That's like straight down. Anyway, the trail is supposed to go that way and zigzag back around, and then right back up into that basin where I want to be. But this view is amazing. Holy cow. Let's put this into perspective a little bit. So that red mountain right there is the western edge of the Red Castle Basin. So just on the other side of that and to the right is Red Castle Lake. And then as you come across, the Highline Trail dips down through here and then back on up. And as it comes around this valley here, that's Mount Lavinia. And then just out of sight on the other side of this thing here is Red Knob Pass and Dead Horse Lake. So anyway, it's kind of cool to see it from this angle. It's awesome views, very pretty. And another wild edible. Little raspberries, not quite ripe yet, but well, look at that mother lode. Holy crap. There's a bunch there and a bunch there, all through there. So many raspberries. Ooh, yummy. And these ones are ripe, at least some of them. Yeah, I'll bet hiking out of this tomorrow is not going to be any fun. I'm going to go clear up there to the sun. Jeez. Well, tomorrow, I guess, climbing that beast, we'll have a perk of having some of these before the journey. It'll be awesome. And don't get these confused with wild raspberries. I have to go take a look at what these might be. Find out if they're edible or poisonous. But they're growing amongst the raspberries over there. So, unknown berry, good berry. Those raspberries were amazing, by the way. Yummy. All right. Mile 13. Gave back about 300 foot elevation. Oh, that's a cool rock. Yeah, it's layered. Chocolate vanilla ice cream swirl rock right there. That is really cool. I don't think I've ever seen one like that. All right, I'm working up another appetite. These are pretty good. Nature Valley protein. It's kind of like a protein bar. 10 grams of protein and gluten-free for you gluten intolerant people. Pretty good. All right. Mile 14. It's pretty flat. So we're 2,300 foot elevation gain roughly from the trailhead to here. Obviously with some ups and downs because we went over that little finger ridge right there, but all in all, this part right here is just meandering through the forest pretty flat, so it's pretty nice. I'm looking for a stream though because I drank the rest of my water and I didn't filter back at Clements Lake. That was the last good water source that I've seen, and that's a few miles ago, so I don't know, hopefully I can come up to some water quick. I'm getting thirsty. Well, would you looky there? It wasn't but 150 yards from where I made that last video. Water. I gotta stop here and fill all my jugs. But the forest provides. Yeah, baby. Boy, it's a long day of hiking, holy cow. Okay, so the Garmin says I'm at mile 15. AllTrail says I'm at mile 13. But regardless, I got about a mile and a half to go to get to Pitcher Lake, which I hope to make camp and then fish some of the surrounding lakes before dark. So I'll just keep plugging away. It's a little after 4. Been on the trail for 9 hours, so that's a long day of hiking. All right, time for some more hydration. Just add water. It's a good thing I got it at that last stream crossing. But this is supposed to have those little thing called electrolytes. I've been sweating a lot of those out, I guess. So this will be good. Well, what do you know? That tree has a butt. And a tall torso. Nice. Now isn't that a spectacular sight? Just topped out into this basin up here. A couple of no-name ponds right there. I'll bet they got fish in it. I'm super close to Pitcher Lake, which is just right up there. So I'm gonna kind of go look for a trail to Pitcher Lake. I don't think there is one because neither map shows one, but I might just have to off trail to get there. But I don't know, those maps are outdated, so I'm gonna go look for a sign anyway. And I'll fish these 2 lakes, go up, set camp, fish a couple other lakes in the area, call it a day. A long, hard day. All right, so 16 miles, relatively flat, just a little bit of incline. I'm starting to backtrack a little bit because the turnoff that AllTrail says is here to the Pitcher Lake is really not here. So, but I at least wanted to check anyway. So, all right, so it looks like I'm off trail from here to get there. I just need to find a place to cross this boggy thing right here to get to the other side of the lake. Maybe I'll just continue down the trail a little bit further and go around the far side of the far lake. Better yet, I think I'll just rock hop across that to the middle. Then I'll be on both sides. can fish each of them. It'll be cool. Well, although these two ponds are pretty big, I don't think they support any fish, or if they do, they're little ones that die off every winter, because these are super shallow. I'm not seeing any activity on the water at all, nothing along the shoreline. But sure is pretty. Yeah, this little bit of off-trail hiking to Pitcher Lake isn't too bad. There's not too many deadfalls, and there's some game trails that you can follow. It's not boulder hopping like Swayze Lakes was. It's turning out to be a pretty good little side jaunt. I'm almost to the lake now. It's just right here at the top of this little hill right here, according to the map. You know, I'd be surprised if, 24 people fish this a year max. I mean, it's off the trail pretty good. There's like 2 or 3 more over there that are even further off the trail. I'll bet they get no pressure at all. So if there's any fish in there, they should be decent. But man, is it a haul in here to get them. Long hiking. I'm on the trail 10 hours as of right now, minus a half hour for lunch. But that's crazy. Good lakes are hard to get, I guess. Well, they better be good lakes, I should say. All right, looks like I made it to Pitcher Lake. Wow, what a long day. So the Garmin says I went 16.75 miles, but that includes all my, loitering around, fishing, doing that kind of stuff. All Trails says to this point it's 14.6 miles. And my Fitbit tracker on my phone says 15.5 miles. All right, the sign said camp 200 feet from water, so I should be at least that now. But here's the lake, Pitcher Lake. Hopefully it'll have picture perfect fish in it. That's my hope. I did see one fire ring over there, so I know that people do come here. But I don't know. Looks promising, and holy crap, it's big. Wow. Reflection on the water. It's pretty. The map says it wraps around that point over there and goes that much more again. It's a big lake. Should support some big fish. Question is can I catch them? There's the moon coming up. Let's see if we can get this going here. start small and grow bigger. Yeah, so I got my little fire going. It's keeping me warm. It's cold out here.